Hi, I'm Alyssa Vogel, and the purpose of this video is to answer the 3 questions that you have gave us in our assignment right now. The first question that you had asked us is, what do you think will make us a successful teacher? Well, something that will make me a successful teacher is to have a constant routine. For me personally, right now, it is art, math, and reading. That's just how our mornings go. So for me, we give our kids a certain amount of time to get something done. Like art could be 40 minutes, reading could be 30, and anything else could be 20 or however long we think it is. I feel like a routine would personally work for me and my students because it would keep them on a consistent schedule, so when they walk into class, they will know what to do automatically. If they walk into class and the first thing they need to do is writing, go and get their journals, go get a pencil, sit down and write whatever objection we have so far. But as a teacher, I know that some days a routine will get broken. There are some days where some kids need more time, some kids might need less time, or some kids need a little bit more motivation to get them to do the work. Not every student can be the same, but I'm perfectly fine with my routine being broken sometimes, but I would personally love to have a schedule so my kids know we have A to do first, then we have B, and then we have C, and we have this amount of time to get something done. So as personally me, I love to keep my kids on an everyday schedule. Another thing that will make me a successful teacher is I will let my students have a voice. Even today, they have a voice to speak upon anything they please do. They know what we're doing, they know what's happening. So if someone doesn't like a project or one of them, or the project can be too hard, I will let my students have a voice upon that. I will cooperate with the student, or if the project is the way it is, I could help them upon that. I'm not just going to let them have no voice upon it. Like, I can assign something, but you can communicate to me or your whole class, if you please, to your own opinion on the assignment. So I feel that every student needs a voice, no matter if it's based off anything, and one of the big things is assignments. Another thing that students should also have a voice upon is feeling uncomfortable. If they feel uncomfortable with me even just teaching like a certain assignment, they don't feel comfortable with the way I explained it, I should be explaining it a different way. I could explain to that student in a different way, and they should have the voice to explain that to me. So it'd be easier for them to learn, and maybe another student can have the same question as well. So as me personally, it would be to have a routine and for my students to have a voice on anything. As long as they raise their hand first, we are okay. Now for the second question you asked is, what do I need to work on before I enter a classroom as a first-year teacher? For me personally, I would need to work on understanding that not all students learn at the same pace. I know from personal experience seeing it, some kids do not learn at the same pace as other ones, no matter if it's faster or slower. Some students need more time, or some students need less time. So I need to work on the fact that when I say, hey, we have 30 minutes to do that, I also need to have in the back of my head, yeah, I gave you guys 30 minutes, but if another student does not understand it, I need to give myself another 20 minutes after the 30 minutes to help other students that do not understand the assignment, the help. So I need to work on that so I can make my schedule the correct way I would like it to be. And long lengths of the routine, and add breaks in between so I can make sure. And if I get ahead of something, then I get ahead of something. Okay. Now for the last one you had asked is, what qualities should an educator have? An educator should have many of qualities, obviously, but 2 main qualities I think an educator should have is patience. Patience is the biggest key that every educator truly needs. Because like I said before, some kids can learn at a faster pace. Some kids just need a little bit more time to learn the assignment more or the objective that we had put up. So teachers also need to learn to explain subjects in different ways. For example, math. If you explain it one way, you need to have 3 or 4 more examples to explain it so the student has plenty of things to look at, and whatever one clicks for them and it works for them, that is what you need to go by with that student or another student. That's how I personally feel, and you need to have patience because as a teacher, yes, we have a lot of things to do, but you also need to add in that extra time to be like, okay, now I have to learn 3 to 4 more examples to show how another student can learn. It doesn't have to be one way to teach a student this certain way. You could split it down into smaller sections, or in every book, there's always different examples. So you always need to be prepared to give more examples. And you need to have patience. You can't get irritated right away. Like, oh, why didn't you understand the example I already gave? Because the books always give us 2 examples to go by. But personally, if the student doesn't understand that, you need to go back and learn it yourself and show the child. So you always need to be patient with them. It is not their fault that they don't understand the way some books explain it. It's not their fault. You need to have patience and you need to understand, especially with students that don't really talk as much as the best way I can explain it. You need to have patience with them. If they don't want to participate in certain things and they're very quiet, they're probably shy or they feel uncomfortable. So you need to have patience to when they want to open up to you, or when they feel comfortable enough to work in groups. Yes, there's always group assignments that they have to do, but it doesn't need to be forced upon. So you need to have patience with students that are more quiet than anything. You can't just push them in, like, here you go, you have to do this, you have to talk. It's not good for them, and it's not going to help them in the long run. They're going to feel more nervous the next time they have to do it. Some students might be different. They might be ready the next time you do it, but for me, if I don't feel personally that you should push a student because you're impatient and you want them to get it over with already. Another quality teachers need is organization. Organization is a very big thing, especially when you have a classroom. And it's no matter if you have a co-teacher or it's just you. Organization is a very big thing. As a teacher, you have assignments every day. You have pencils everywhere. You have crayons everywhere. You have markers. You have different types of supplies. Especially right now, you are overloaded with cleaning supplies right now. All those supplies need to go somewhere and they need to be located in one spot. As a teacher, get one of those little box things, put their pens and their pencils and their crayons, or whatever you choose to do. But their pencils, their crayons, their erasers do not need to be everywhere around the class. Because if a parent walks in, they're going to be confused on where everything is. For example, we have a kitchen in my classroom. And any section that you go to, it says in big letters, we're going to use kitchen right now, is when you walk in, you see kitchen in bold letters. And then there's a paper that explains what the children are doing in kitchen and how they are learning in kitchen. But the biggest part is also that when you go into the kitchen and there's a little setup for children to play in, when you open it, there's 2 different containers for food and dishes. So right now, all of our students know the yellow bin is dishes and the blue bin is food. They know when it's time to clean up, they put them in those bins and they put them away. So organization helps, 1, the kids learn, and 2, it makes your room look way more presentable. So when a parent walks in for open house, they're going to want to look at everything. If they somehow randomly get into the kitchen and they open everything up, they don't want everything falling onto them. They want to see everything organized, or at least in a certain spot that it belongs in. So when our parents open our kitchen, there's 2 bins. None of our kids normally mess it up. They're really good at it. And it helps. It shows parents, hey, this is what my kid is learning. They're learning organizations and their teachers are very organized. Another thing as a teacher to be organized is to also on your hand with all the papers, the artwork, the journals, you need to put that away. And it needs to not be that second. You don't have to put it away personally because we all know that you might have a binder for kids that you have to put all their work in or you send it home. For me personally, it's binders. So I cannot do binders every day. But my kids do have bins with all their works in it and it's laid out nicely. So on Fridays, I go to their bins, get all their paperwork, hole punch it, and put it in their binders. That is organizations. If you have your papers just laid out everywhere, you are going to get overwhelmed as a teacher. You will. With already having a whole classroom, lesson plans, and to prepare for the next day or the next week, you do not need that extra stress of not being organized. If you are just organized and you put just a little bit more effort in on labeling and different types of bins, it will make your whole room a different setting. It will make it feel like parents can walk in and know what their child is learning that day. Our parents have access to their bins. They just know they cannot take it home because it goes in the binder for them for the end of the year. They know they could look at those things anytime they please to, and they could see what their child is doing, or what they had written, or what they had read throughout the week. So it's more of a comfort feeling for the parents as well, and it's not so overwhelming with you and your desk getting so overfilled. And let's see. Oh, those are the 3 questions that you had asked me, and I hope I had answered all of them correctly, and I hope you have a blessed day. Thank you.